Okay guys, welcome. So Q&A, it's been a couple of days. It's been a week or so, to be honest. To be honest, I've had a well-needed break, and I think it's done me a world of good as well. To be honest, I got fishing for the first time yesterday evening. So I haven't been very well, if I'm honest, and I've been going backwards and forwards from the doctors and hospital and that for the last couple of months and stuff. And yeah, I'm hopefully on the mend, is a way to put it. So yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, it's just been I find it odd because when I've been finishing work and that, normally I'm like keen to do like videos and go fishing and stuff like that, and I just not been in the mood for it. A lot of pain in bits and pieces like that, and the last thing you want to be doing is going up and down cliff faces and stuff. But I got out yesterday evening after a long day at work, quite knackering, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go anyway. So me and Connor went to a local venue down in South Hams and had a go for a ray. I mean, it wasn't fantastic. I got fed up and just basically, because I got bombarded with strap eels out, when you get bombarded with strap eels personally and you're using extra large sand eel, it kills me. And we decided to leave, but a few of the lads what stayed on managed to get a couple out up to like £7 mark. So there was a few fish to be had out, but yeah, got home and yeah, well earned night's sleep, and yeah, sat here today. So today was a bit of a rare occasion, to be honest. I still can't believe it. If I'm honest, I still can't believe it. I've wanted to do a video for Sea Angling Adventures and for this channel for a little while now regarding how equipment's changed, but the only way of doing it is going back to the roots. What I've got in front of me here now is so I started out, not at the beginning of my angling, but when I started to obviously progress and get better with my angling, taking it seriously, these were my go-to rods. And to be honest, many years ago I've had a few pairs of them over the years. I mean, the first pair ever I had originally, one I bought second hand, the other one I bought second hand from a guy in North Devon, and they were both. I went and got them in both trips. One I went to Beaufort and the other went to North Devon, and I come back and they weren't matching, but I didn't care at the time, so I carried on using them anyway. A little time went on, and I seen another pair come up from a guy in Bristol, and I got them. He put them up on sale for 400 quid, if I remember correctly. And when I got up there, he meant to say 600, but he already put 400 up there. But he was to his word, and he let me have them for the 400 quid. But they were Andy Muse built, black jet back, and they were absolutely stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. Well, definitely by far my favourite. But one rod what I think back to, and I wish I still had, was those rods. And I had some really good fish on those rods. And not to laugh, but I was down B-Sands one day, and I bought a pair of SUs, and I had the other ones in the bag. Okay, so I decided to fish with the SUs that evening, and because I had the HST there, two friends of mine at the time decided to go and have a little cast with the HSTs mucking around down the beach. And cut a long story short, none of them actually owned up to who it was. They still have it to this day. They blame each other. But they managed to snap the tip, so I think they were doing silly casting and managed to whip the line around. As they come round, they took 3 or 4 inches off the tip, and it broke my heart, because to me personally, they were Andy Muse built, which is very rare to get these days. I love Andy Muse's builds, just classic, subtle with the skull, and just a really, really nice rod. And yeah, it broke my heart. But I had the SUs then, and I never really looked back. And then going back a few years ago now, I've seen a pair for sale in South Wales, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and get them. And I had them for a bit, but the trouble was, because obviously you progress with casting and stuff, I was used to a stiffer midsection, and I sort of let them go. I think because I never the Andy Muse ones before, it broke my heart a little bit, and I let them go. And it's something that I've always regretted, because I think it's something what I miss out my fishing gear. But for those of you that know and don't know, these are the last pair. These are out the last module, so out of the last ones built from Ziplex of the Dymic HSTs. I'm not sure if they'll ever be made again. I paid 900 quid for these rods. As you can see, they've got all the alkanites on them. They're brand new, literally brand new, been built. They've been built in the high position, real up position, which I'm going to basically bring down. We've done this one already to bring down, so I've got them on the bottom. And yeah, I'm going to basically get some shrink tube and stuff, and basically do them up. By far one of my favourite rods to use. Very fun, a perfect ray rod. Lots of midsection power and a lovely ray tip on them. And to be honest, I loved them over the years. I really did. Probably not going to be as stiff as I'm used to now, but I feel like there's something missing out my fishing gear, and I think that's it. I've got to be honest. I've got the T9s, I've got the T1s. Like I said, I feel there's a gap in between. And I was looking for something with a carbon tip what I can use race fishing, and these have got a lovely tip on them. They go over lovely in the tide, and yeah, that's what I've got them for. But it gives me the chance to do what I was just about wanting to do. So I want to take it back, because a lot of the rods are now like 14 foot plus foot. I believe these were 13.6 or 13.2, 13.4, something like that. I'm not sure exactly. I have to have a look at the spec again on them. But I use these for years. And what I've got is the original, and I say original, USA made Pen 525 knobby mag. Okay, it's not a mono mag on these. Okay, so basically you've got to use the knob, but it's still the same as the slidey clicker, but you've just got a knob there instead. They're running very fast, and to be honest, I bought these specifically for breaming. But I thought, while I've got them together, it gives me a good chance to relive and go through how I used to fish. So I'm going to do a session on one of the local ray marks on the up and coming weeks, and I'm going to use the 525s loaded with. I'm going to try and get some ultimate distance, if I'm honest, £20 ultimate distance, because back then that was my go-to line. I used to love the ultimate distance. I'm going to use drop down rigs instead of the rigs I normally use now, and then what I'm going to do, maybe make a couple of up and over rigs and go back to the sort of stuff I used and how I used to fish. I mean, J-hooks was a big thing back then, so I'll probably make a few rigs up with some J-hooks. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel with that, because you progress with your angling and stuff, don't you? But me personally, I'm over the moon. I went back in time today. I'm going to do it in the review, guys, but I'll say a little bit now. You don't get reels made like this anymore, okay? The new Pen reels are not the same. The new Dowel reels are not the same. I'm not going to slag any of the brands off. All I'm going to say is, and I'll say it for all brands, they don't make them like they used to. And I think the reason they don't make them like they used to, if we're all totally honest, is the simple fact to sell more gear. Because if you get a reel like this, and you've got a reel like this, and you want to lovely ratchet, just banging. I know guys that have had these for 20 years. I had probably between eight and 10 of these back in the day, and I got rid of them all when the Fathom comes out and went onto the Fathom. And you actually do, you go into the Mag 2s and stuff like that. But I don't think none of us really knew then what we knew now. If you're new to angling, you won't have a clue what we're talking about, but these were the bee's knees when they come out, and everybody wanted them and everybody had them. And what I'll say is, anybody who's lucky enough to still have them or have them in these conditions, they still go for very good money. Okay, more expensive now, I believe, than they were when they first come out. And they're just a cracking reel. And as you'll find when they start making the Mag 2s, the Mag 3s and Mag 4s, they suffered quality and the corrosion, and they just don't handle what they used to. I mean, I don't believe that some of the reels now will be still around in 20 years' time. And I feel the reason they do it now is to sell more reels, because if you've got a reel that lasts you, you don't need to buy new again, do you? And each time the new stuff comes out, they're obviously missing out on it. Where if they make a reel which doesn't last as long with the components, they're going to sell more of them. And at the end of the day, it's about making money, isn't it? But that, I'm going to change it to the power handle, and that is what I used to fish with. Okay, So very much looking forward to having a play with them. As you can see, they got all the tickets on there. I am very excited, and to be honest, I've been quite fortunate really, because I've met a nice guy who's he's actually got a pair of the Evos as well, which I'm buying. So that's me done then. I don't need no more rods. I know people are going to say, blimey, how many pairs of rods you got? I don't need no more rods. And people are going to say, why are you getting the Evos as well? Because I want them. It's the only way to describe it. The HST Evo is a slightly beefed up version than that, and it does play a nice rod at certain marks that I like to go to, and I just like the tips on them. And to be honest, to have them out the last batch as well now, it means a great deal to me. If I'm honest, it's they're immaculate, and I mean immaculate. But anyway, we're going to move on. And I'm going to answer a couple of questions, okay? I'm going to answer one question, I'm going to leave it to the end. But I had a few questions I'd like to answer. But the first question I was asked about landing conger eels on your own. Now, landing conger eels on your own is great difficulty at times. And they can be hard work when you got two of them, let alone... I would always recommend using a gaff. With landing a conger eel, or even if you can get to the water and it's nice and calm, a net's even better way of doing it. What I would tend to do if I was on my own and I was eeling, I would tend to get the fish up on top of the water and get his head up. Okay, that's the main thing. Once I got his head up, what I would try to do is get the tip up and let my drag off slightly to lower the line, but make sure that that line doesn't drop, just so you can get hold of it. Then you can basically have to try and struggle in you, put your rod on the tripod, get down to where you need to be, have a gaff with you. I'd recommend maybe a small gaff what you can have attached to your belt if you're on your own, just so you can get there like that, bring down to the trace line and just try and get it up underneath its lip and take control of the fish. But it's not going to be the easiest things to do. But to be honest, it's something that I've never had to do. 9 times out of 10 I've gone with someone when I've been eating and stuff. And yeah, it's one of them. Wire, I would maybe say, is a good way of fishing from if you're fishing on your own as well, because you could bully the fish up more and get it up on the rocks, depending what rods and that you're using really. But if you get a big one, you're not going to be able to lift that out of the water. So yeah, that's a little bit of advice I'll give you on that. And a few questions. What was the other questions I had? So I'll go through some of them now. If I go on to my emails, I'm sure they were in the emails. So I've got, should have wrote them down really. We'll do a couple today, shall we? I've been a bit slack this week. For some reason, a lot of them were going into my junk folder, the emails I was getting through. Here we go. Just wanted to ask about one of my T900s. I have 3 different pairs of sentries, and they go together and come apart like a dream. But one of my T9s is really tight. It got stuck together on Chesil last week, and it took me 3 hours to get it apart. I nearly left it on the beach. What would you suggest to stop this? Dave, so not the only one. I know a lot of people do have the trouble with brand new rods, and it's a nightmare at times. I don't know if any of you watched the video when I was up at Clevedon, and I've done a video, and basically in that video I was lucky enough to have a guy kayaking next to me, and he had a friend, and we managed to get the rod apart. And to be honest, I've been in positions where I've had Ziplex SUs before, and in cold conditions and stuff. And I remember one night down Mothercombe, I was down there, I'm sure with Rich Albones, and we couldn't get the rod apart. Put it in the water, and someone recommended taking the butt cap off to release pressure. Tried everything, couldn't do it. Managed to get it to move in the end. But personally, Adam's just done mine. I don't like to touch my rods with that sort of thing really. But Adam's, he gets some really light sandpaper and just goes around them slightly. And on my T9s and T1s and my T12s, he's going to do my T12s as well. I haven't done them yet. It just gives them a light sand, so when they go into the spigot, they're not completely tight. Depending on how these are brand new as well now. I would probably do exactly the same to them. I wouldn't suggest mucking around with it too much, and make sure you're doing very light sandpaper and stuff. But just a light, and he doesn't go up and down them either. He sort of like turns it like your cue in it, like chalk in a snooker cue, but holds it around like that. And to be honest, it took him seconds to do each one. And to be fair, it's worked really well for me, mate. So yeah, I hope that helps you. But you're not the only one. I think sometimes it's the way it's just brand new rods, isn't it? Hi Andy, how's it going? Hope you're well, and that all the rubbish that's gone on. Anyway, the question I have of what size does a codling become a cod? Also, one of your previous Q&As, you are setting the rig as you cast out. Can you explain more about that, please? Keep up the good work. Say hello to Connor for me. Hey, right, same guy actually. So we'll answer this I'll answer the first bit last. So I think we've answered this question asked someone else regarding codling. Now, codling to me, I know a lot of people I had some guys from up north saying about £7. Yeah, in theory, I think I said on my video last time I would class it as a cod more about £5. Really, if you're looking at it on properly with the weights and stuff like that, then £7 plus. I would say the guy's right with what he said. Because they do get very big. I know obviously down here we get them still, don't we? But the cod fishing isn't like it used to be. Where up the north it still gets some really good catches. So I would say £7, mate. If I'm honest, I know I said £5 last time, but listen to what the comment the guy put across. I had to agree with him. You're not right all the time at the end of the day, are you? So that's that one. Setting the rig. I'll see if I can find a bit of overlap of me doing it, because I've done it last night. I've done a video last night, but we never caught no fish. And to be honest, it goes back to the first question, so I'll answer that within it. And setting the rig, so basically what I do is I tend to, especially if I'm using a bomb lead or anything like that, I'll cast out, and then when the lead lands, and obviously it just settles, just to make it more sure it's right out and out of the way and it's set properly, I'll just pull it back slightly. Just to allow, if you're using a long flowing trace and stuff like that, for it to set, or if you're using a grip lead, the grips to let it in, and then your trace to obviously be everything out properly rather than screwed up into a ball. So that's the reason I do that, as I said. But yeah, I hope that helps, mate. I will say hello to Connor for you. So all the rubbish what's been going on. So yeah, okay, guys. Where do I start? So I think, if I'm honest, over the past so many months now, I've not been very well. And normally, this sort of stuff just goes right over my head. I just don't pay no attention to it. More professional way of handling it, I think, more really. But because of what I've been going through lately, I've my temper and everything is very short. You know what I mean? And it's due to the medication and stuff. Having said that, it's not an excuse, because I feel like, part of me at the beginning, I thought I've got to do it. You know what I mean? I've been going on for so long, and why should people be able to get away with it? And I feel that, in one way of looking at it, it's a good thing to do, because you're basically standing up for yourself. But at the same time, you're feeding the fire. Now, I've had loads of messages from guys and people over the last few weeks and stuff like that, telling me how much they admire what I've done. And yeah, it does take a lot. I'm not saying it's not. You know what I mean? You're bringing people into your life and showing them the insights of what goes on and stuff like that. And it's stuff what I don't particularly would want everybody to know. But having said that, from the feedback I've got back from you guys, I've got to be honest. Some of the stories that I've been told in that, I really feel that I feel quite proud of what I've done with it. I mean, I don't really care if I'm honest. Like I think last night I had an incident with a friend of mine, and I sent some screenshots, and I didn't even know this guy from Adam, apart from through this basically him messaging me. I spoke to him on the phone a couple of times. You know what I mean? Once actually, sorry, and I've spoke to him through voice messages and stuff like that. Him contacting me. And for some reason, he put 2 and 2 together and come up with 18. And he thought, for some reason, whatever we was talking about, that I was talking about him, and he decided to go on a big rant on his personal Facebook page, and like basically go. What I don't understand with that situation, the guy messaged me, and I put him straight. I was like, I don't even know who you are. You know what I mean? So why am I going to be talking about you for a start? And I was sent all this stuff across. Someone what was on his page, and I'd seen it all, and basically said, "Have you seen all this?" And I felt quite annoyed about it, really, because I thought to myself, hang on a minute, you've just been messaging me, right, and wishing me a good day and all stuff like that, and then right beyond my back, you're there writing all this stuff and that. And some of the comments I've seen on there were other guys which annoyed me as well. But I mean, there's one guy, going back a little while ago now, he messaged me and said, "You right, Andy? Any chance of a favour, mate?" He said, "I've got a disabled son, and I'd like to know a guilt at brain mark." So I said, he said, "And it needs to be somewhere where it's easy access and where I've got a good chance of getting a good guilt at brain." So I said, "Do you know what, mate?" I said, "I'll give you the mark." So I give him the mark, all right? A lot of people be annoyed about me doing this, right? And I'm going to tell the truth. And the reason I've done it, and I said to my mate in work, and he goes, "What did you do that for?" And I said, to be honest, if he's got a bike, like his disabled bike and that, it's a nice thing to do for someone. And he said, "Yeah, fair play." I did tell him not to tell anyone else, right? It was a perfect place for taking his son. And the following weekend, I go into my local tackle shop, and I was speaking to one of the guys in there who happened to be down there that day. He didn't go down with his disabled son. He decided to go down with his mates fishing for gilthead bream. And it annoyed me, really, because I don't think that's a good thing to do, to be fair. To go in to basically message someone and say, look, and use the story of your son to get a mark, and then decide not to even. It's nothing about that. It was about to go down there and fish with his mates. And I thought, you know what? And then over the last few weeks of that, the guy's been messaging me, trying to get me to do videos with him, to do like a casting video with him and that. And I'm glad I said no, because I didn't even realise until I got sent all these screenshots that this guy is on other pages and that, slating me and slagging me off. And I thought, do you know what? And I got said something. Someone said something to me last night, and it actually hit home a little bit. He said, "I know you get wound up with these situations. Go on, and at the end of the day, you're quite in your mind to do it." But he said to me, "Does it really matter?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, does it really matter?" He said, "Like you've got an established YouTube channel, you've got an established angler, you do really well with your specimen hunting and stuff like that. You get loads and loads of really positive feedback from like all your viewers on the Angler Adventures and the fishing show and that. Does it really matter what 2 or 3 people really think?" And I thought, you know what, you're absolutely right. And the question I've got coming from someone else at the end of the day, I don't know. I've got to be honest, I don't know. I feel in a way, the way of dealing, instead of basically just letting people carry on saying stuff and that, standing up for yourself is a good thing, all right? And as we've done, probably Sausage Watch probably wasn't the right title for the episode, but at the same time, I was in a position where I just had enough, you know what I mean? And to be fair, I'm glad that it's happened. I mean, the first episode, I don't even know the guy from Adam. The second episode, we were friends once upon a time, and to be honest, I like the guy. I'm not going to say I was a bit disappointed because of everything that went on, you know what I mean? And I don't think we'll ever be properly friends and stuff, but you know what I mean, at the minute we're in a position where we can like each other's stuff and stuff like that, and that, but it was over silly stuff, as people saw, it was over other people's issues and not even our issues, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that that's resolved. And to be honest, there's been other people that I've fell out with, and we get on now. You know what I mean? And I think that's one plus thing, because I don't want to be falling out with people all the time. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? There's no need to. I'm not a jealous person. I mean, if I see people doing well within their videos and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I'm quite happy to help people. You know what I mean? I've done exactly the same as like I've done with Connor. But one thing I won't do is get taken the mick out of, you know what I mean? And I'm quite fixed with that fact. And as I said in videos before, I keep my circle small and I have decent people around me. I don't want to be I don't want to have idiots around me, if I'm honest. I don't want to be like having people around me what I'm thinking, he's slagging me off behind my back. And why would you have all sorts of people behind you? And one thing I like about Connor, and I'll give him credit where credit was due. He's had a couple of people look up to him and start trying to slag me off, and he stopped them there and then. And he said, he was speaking to me the other night, and he said about one certain individual. He said, I stopped him there and then. He said, I don't want to know. And he said, at the end of the day, if ever people got issues, and that's what happens in life, that's their issues, don't mean there aren't issues. Yeah, he's a nice boy. I credit to him. At the end of the day, I'd help anyone when it comes to fishing. If someone looked up to me, local, and said, mate, really struggling my casting, can you get any chance you can help them out if they want to come to Timber for an evening or whatever? Quite happy to meet them and go through some casting that with them. You know what I mean? It's exactly the same with fishing. I've done it for years. That's why I do what I do. And one of the other questions we're coming into it now is it's like a VIP. A lot of people were asking why I stopped doing the VIP stuff and why I started it. The VIP, the reason I started it, if I'm totally honest, I don't want these idiots watching my stuff. I really don't. And last night I come home and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do what I used to do, because what I used to do was just ignore them, okay? So I've blocked them all from all my Sea Angle Adventures, all my personal accounts, all my fishing show accounts. They can't see nothing on that now through their personal channels. Anything they create, new accounts and stuff linked, they won't be able to see anything. The trouble is with YouTube, you don't need to sign in all the time to watch all the content, do you? So they can still watch all the stuff, and I feel like I don't want these parasites watching the stuff. And I know they do, and they watch it. They enjoy watching what they get fishing and stuff and like that. But I do it to help people. Like Connor said, when I said to Connor about it, he said, "What does it matter? You're obviously earning off, like, monetize off the YouTube videos and stuff like that. The more views you get, the better." And I said, "Nah, it's not. I personally." It's not all about money for me. I'm not interested. You know what I mean? I'd rather have 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers who are all loyal and getting on nicely and not putting silly comments and stuff like that. Just enjoying the content and interacting with it, rather than have 50,000 with just idiots putting silly stuff on that all the time, because that's what you get. And to be honest, I don't want to be doing the same stuff. I've been doing it for the last 15, 16, 17 years, the YouTube channels, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be doing the same, what I've done like over and over again. You see it all the time and that. I want to be doing different stuff. I enjoy doing the T900 and T1000 stuff and stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's doing different things and stuff. But the answer to the question, if I'm honest, I feel it's right in a way, but I don't think it's right for everybody. I don't feel that everybody should just go out and just go on a complete warpath and basically say, right, it's time for you to have your own medicine. Because two wrongs don't make a right all the time at the end of the day. And I think if you're doing well in life and you're doing good things, it's a sad part of life, but there's always people there ready to put you down and just watch things and try to pick fault in them. And it's sad, really. It is sad, but unfortunately, it's a part of our life, which unfortunately we've all got to deal with. And yeah, hopefully no more for this channel. But guys, I've put all the stuff into a members channel for the Sausage Watch stuff and that, because I don't really want it all on the content. I mean, I've kept the last couple on there. Just for the simple fact it went too big to, obviously it's out there, it's pointless taking down, and at the end of the day, I was given a true account of what's happened, and like a lot of people have said to me, they can see that what went on within that I was telling the truth about the matter, and I'm glad it's resolved at the end of the day, because it was, I think, really two good anglers falling out over silly stuff, and I do wish him all the best. He's a really good angler. To be honest, I watched him for the first time the other day on his YouTube channel. I was sitting down doing some rigs, and I watched it, and I don't normally do that, because that's what I don't get as well. I said, if people don't like the content I'm doing, why watch it? You know what I mean? There's certain individuals on YouTube I don't like, and as soon as I see them come up on the screen, I don't push play. I go right past it. You know what I mean? Or I hide the content so it doesn't come up on me. I mean, I just don't get it. But unfortunately, I think it's a part of everyday life, and I think it's just something we've all got to deal with. But yeah, the answer to your question, maybe a little bit, I don't know, brutal is probably the way to describe it. But I don't regret none of it, if I'm honest. And I'll tell you a story just to end this off. Going back a couple of weeks ago now, I had a phone call. Well, I had a text message first, and the guy asked me for my number and said, "Can I give you a call?" So I didn't really know who he was, but I gave him my number anyway. Got ready to push record because I didn't know if it was something to do with what was going on in any of the cases and at the time. And it was a guy which I've heard of, and he said to me, "Andy," he said, "just want to say your credit to you for the way you've handled the situation. I wish I had the bottle and the guts to do that and stand up to them." So because I've took a lot in my life. And at first the conversation was a bit riddly. He wouldn't tell me exactly the ins and outs, but he was saying that he went through some bad stuff. Then he said, "You know what, I'm just going to tell you." He said, "I went for a stage in my life which got me very low." And he said, basically, he had a hobby. He was telling me what the story he had. I'm not going to... I've asked the guy back the other week whether I could tell the story. And obviously, I've not had a chance to come on and tell it. But I'm going to tell it, obviously. So basically, he had a bit of a hobby. And used to sell things. So it started off with car boot sales and stuff like that. And then he decided to basically start doing it online, just to get a bit more local, like the local Facebook groups and stuff like that, trying to get a few more customers. Something he really enjoyed doing, you know what I mean? So he had his own part of the house, what was all focused on that, of doing that as part of his hobby. And really talented. And unfortunately, there was a certain group of individuals who used to come on there and cause him grief. And when they see him, they used to go on at him and just basically just run him down and stuff like that. In the end, he said, "You know what, I'm not selling it on the internet anymore. I'm going to start selling it just the way I've been selling it." And basically, he's always into his angling, and he decided to go and start fishing these matches. And he started fishing the matches, and within the first couple of matches, he ended up winning one with a £5 fish. Only fish that was caught on the day, and everybody's congratulating him. He felt chuffed. Went home overnight. All these locals on there again. That wasn't £5, this and that, causing him loads of grief. And he's like, "What the hell's going on with people?" I mean, there was people running this competition because it was there to obviously to see that it was £5. But online grief again, and over the space of the next few months, it just got worse and worse into a state where he didn't want to go out of the house anymore. He was going to work, just coming home, and just not doing nothing. And he decided, basically, to go to the doctors because he's feeling a bit run down and depressed. So he got some antidepressants, and he'd been on them for a little while and stuff like that. Didn't find it was getting any better and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the relationship at home was becoming quite down, and obviously with everything what's going on and a lot of pressure on the relationship and that. And basically, in the end, he had to leave the family home. When he got a flat, and for the next few months, he spent a few weekends basically seeing the kids and every other weekend and stuff like that. And unfortunately, he got himself into a position where the only way he thought that he could see a way out was by taking his own life. And when he was telling me on the phone, I actually got quite choked up because I was like, I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And he said this was all down to the stuff what was going on online and abuse that he was getting over silly stuff. And he just let it get to him, and I didn't know what to say to him. He said honestly, he said from watching what you've done, I wish I could have just stood up, because obviously, yeah, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10, all of the cases I've done when I stuck up for myself, they've been resolved straight away. You know what I mean? I've had one of them I couldn't get hold of, and obviously he's not even replied to the messages and stuff. Every other single case was dealt with. You know what I mean? And I think most of it what boiled down to was the fact it brought no matter what went on with everything what happened, it brought people together to sit down and talk over it. And the outcome's the outcome at the end of the day. When you sit down and you get in a position where you're face to face or you're having a conversation with someone, it's going to go two ways at the end of the day, isn't it? And yeah. That might not be the case all the time, though, guys. That might not be the case all the time. There's going to be cases where that doesn't happen. And the guy said to me, luckily, he was found. And over the next few months, I think it sort of hit everybody with what was going on and how bad and how he was taking it. And basically ended up getting back together with his wife and the kids, and he's been happily living now for the last few years, and still sells his stuff, just ignores everything what goes on, and it's just so much happier. And I was so pleased to hear that story, and I told it to a couple of people, and I had a couple of different feedbacks on it, because a lot of people found the situation what was going on and that really good online, you know what I mean, and that, but what they don't realise is, not me personally, as I said before, I'm quite hard-skinned with it and that, but there is people out there what struggle with mental health, and they struggle with different things and what's going on and stuff. And I don't feel that anybody should be allowed to make that and make another person feel that low. I mean, I actually feel a bit sorry for people, if I'm honest, because when I was getting messages about individuals and that afterwards and stuff like that, I felt, do you know what? You know what I mean? Who gives me the right to do that back? But I'm not the one I'm sticking up for myself, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day. And I don't know, I feel, yeah, it's worked at the end of the day. And do I feel it's the right thing to do? Not really. it's the honest answer to it. I wish that I didn't have to go and do something like that. But from the story I got from the guy with what he told me and how he had that situation and that, I feel that I've done the right thing. And I feel like I've done the right thing for a lot of people, and I thought sort of brought it out. And hopefully there's people out there what look upon it, what's gone on the last few weeks and that, and say basically, do you know what? And it makes people think before they start putting things and writing things. At the end of the day, if you see something, there's no need to write a negative comment. Just don't comment. You know what I mean? If I see something and I think to myself, I might think it, but I don't go in there and sit there and write it. You know what I mean? There's no need. There's no need. But we live in a society where everybody feels a need to have their opinion put across, and unfortunately, it's it's not. And I've got to be honest. I spoke to a lot of individuals, and they said to me, Andy, if it wasn't for my fishing stuff and that, and what obviously I wouldn't even be on YouTube, on Facebook, because of what goes on there. And I totally understand it. I mean, I've got a fishing and angling account now, and I've got my family account where I keep all my kids and personal stuff on, and then I've got my the pages and stuff like that. But I am considering not even bothering with the fishing profile one, because I don't need it at the end of the day. And it's just all I can do. Then I can just concentrate on doing the YouTube stuff and stuff like that. I've got to a stage where I take comments off on the Sea Angle Adventures, because and I don't feel, because I can't be, I just don't need it, you know what I mean? I don't want to be reading it and stuff like that. And people have asked me to start doing the VIP stuff, because a lot of people enjoyed that sort of stuff, because it's a bit like what I'm doing now. But if I'm honest, I don't really want to have to do that. I mean, what I liked about having the VIP sort of stuff, and I've done it very cheap at the same time, it was the price of a cup of coffee or whatever it was at the time, and at the end of the day YouTube take a massive cut of that. You end up with like 25 pence or 30 pence from each individual. I mean, it's crazy afterwards what you end up with of it. But what I liked about being in control of that channel was the fact that if someone come on there and subscribed, I could ban them and not let them. You know what I mean? They could go in and subscribe, but then I could ban them, you know what I mean, straight away. But there was people on there which you see YouTube stars now, and people are doing YouTube and that, without going into names and that, these people were subscribing, were paying to watch my content and stuff. So it's like people are enjoying it, but I don't do it for money. I do it to help people at the end of the day, and it's sad that in a way it makes me not want to do certain things. Because like last night, I've done a video last night. I've not put it up, and I give so much away, like information wise, like marks, wind, weather, conditions. Anybody in that area, local to this area, they had it on a plate. And I got home last night, and I haven't done it. I've deleted the footage. I've kept a couple of bits for overlapping on different stuff and that, but I deleted the footage. And the reason I did it is because these parasites, and I think to myself, why should I be putting that content on, and they're reaping it back up, you know what I mean? And it's probably the only negative thing I've got to say about it, but it's just the way of the world, guys, unfortunately. But to cut that basically statement through, that is the last time we're going to be talking about this, because I took like a week off after all that, what was going on, and as I said, I just want to concentrate on fishing. You know, this page is about doing reviews and bits and pieces like that, and question and answers. I mean, loads of people have been really enjoying the question and answers. I'm really enjoying getting to do some more different stuff with that. I've been thinking about a lot of different things, really. How rods handle, trying to connect them to certain things and move certain things, and just make it more interesting and have a bit of fun with it. I mean, this up and coming week now, I'm going to be doing a casting tuition, and basically open a few people within the group and stuff to get the cast going where they can send their videos in and stuff. As I said before, with that, you're always going to bring people out and about because people are going to say, oh, I'm better a caster than you, or you can do that, you can do that. Well, my advice to these individuals, help people then. You know what I mean? Get out, just do something yourself and do it rather than criticise what I'm going to do. Because I personally, I don't think there's any people rather than Sea Angler Adventures was help, especially online. The amount of views the casting videos had, I mean, last time I looked, it was nearly 300,000. So it's one, if not the best casting video available on Sea Angler on the YouTube by far. I mean, there's a lot of casting videos out there with really good content and stuff. Sometimes the sound's not brilliant, or it's always going to be a hard way to film casting because it's picking up everything. But what I'm going to try and do is basically put across what I was taught. And I've got lazy with my casting lately. I was talking to Adam last night, and I don't even set up properly now. I sort of like lazy swing out, let it come back around, turn, and just did it. And as long as you're getting 120, 130 yards, that is more than enough sometimes. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to hold people to that. Because I think I've done a video the other day, and I said that went 200 yards. My reel was screaming. I mean, it was right out there. I don't know if it's 200 yards or not, if I'm honest, and I don't, you know what I mean? You're going over water, you're never going to tell. All I know is I'm looking at my line's full to the brim, and then by the time it's gone, it's like 3/4 gone, you know what I mean? Me personally, I remember when we went down the field years ago, when we took casting reels, going back, that was many years ago now, and we had a mark put out at 200, and we were getting, with our leads, we were hitting 200 yards with the reels. So with baits and that, to be honest, I was watching someone this morning on there, what was quite good, some Welsh boy, and he was doing a video with bait ups, which I've never seen anybody do on YouTube before, and it was quite good to watch because he was doing different bait ups and stuff with different leads and different rods. He was using the Zopron range as well, so you know what I mean, and he was showing the distance of how far baits and that actually go. And it was quite surprising, really. I mean, he was hitting, I think most of the big baits and stuff he was hitting was about 160 yards. And I think one of them went 201 or something or other, remember correctly. But it was a nice little video. If anybody hasn't watched it, it's quite good to watch. I mean, that's the sort of stuff you want to watch, innit? Me personally, I don't want to sit and watch just the same old fishing videos and stuff. You want new content and different stuff to watch and that. That's what I look for, and exactly the same with the tips I've done with the Century the other day. I mean, it's something which I heard a lot of people wanting to go through and go out there and sort of like and see me do when I put the word about, and it's gone down really well. But guys, that is the end of our video. Q&A back again, and hopefully we can get some better content. I mean, I'm out tomorrow to do some promotional work for an app company. Which I've started to do some work alongside. Really interesting to see where it goes. I think modern day technology, and so I've seen what they do with the freshwater sort of side, and all I can say, we're sitting down having a meeting this week, that I think that over the next 5 or 6 years, with this content coming in and the information this new app will gather, it will make it fantastic for sea anglers all around the world. I really do. I mean, the technology that's gone into it, and the guys which they've got working for it, really good guys and that know their stuff, and I think really good things are happening. I mean, it's a free app download which you can download. Also, you can pay to have like a subscribe to it, which you get a load of range of extra features and money off loads of different brands and stuff like that. And it's got some interesting features. I can assure you that. But you'll see a lot more coming. I'm going to do a full production tomorrow for Sea Angling Adventures. I'm going to do an angling profile on the chap what's coming with me. And hopefully we can have a good day. It's forecastly southerly breeze tomorrow with no rain. And very much looking forward to it. These won't be out, unfortunately not. I'm taking T9s tomorrow, I think. But no, these very happy with these. I really am. It's a really nice build, and just got to get a few fish on them now. Get on, but yeah, hope you enjoy the content, guys. As I said, we've done more something on the spooligan range as well this morning. I got sent a free app, which was quite nice of them with my order. Like I said, I got it on the. I didn't realise I had them upside down because they got spooligan written on the top, and I thought that's got to be the right way because the other way's not got no writing. But as I watched last night, you can turn them around, and when you're resting your rods, when you're on chisel and stuff like that, you can rest them standing up as well. So they actually have that side, but because I'm on the rocks, to be honest, I like to prefer them the way that I've got them, because they were class. But yeah, they weren't moving at all around with the wind coming from the side and that. Worked really well. But guys, tight lines, catch you in the next one.